Dr. J, what we talking about today? Y'all, today we got to talk about the types of degrees, all right? Now, listen here. When I'm talking about these types of degrees, I'm not talking about Celsius or Fahrenheit or anything like that. I'm talking about college degrees. I just have to talk about it because I'm sick and tired of everybody coming up to me asking me what we going to do about COVID. I don't know. Okay, let's get it right there. I don't know. I'm not that type of doctor. Okay, I can't help. I can't help your son get over his flu. I can't prescribe you any medicine. Okay, I'm not that type of doctor. And I feel like, we have to talk about this today. People thought for some odd reason I could help them with the hospital. I'm like, what? I'm not in the medical career. Like, I don't know. Anywho, we got to talk about it today. So let's talk. This is like the longest word, associates. Sometimes I even forget how to spell that long word. But associate's degree is actually the shortest degree of them all. It's only 2 years. Okay, for the most part, you could, depending on the program, you could do associate's degree, maybe a year, maybe a year and a half, but usually it's gonna be 2 years. It's just like general education. All right, you're really gonna have your basics. Okay, so you're gonna take like your English, you're gonna take like your history class, you're gonna take like your basic math, whatever you need. Okay. And this associate's degree, I like to call this I think of it as a little bridge. Okay. So you can bridge this degree to the next degree, which we're going to talk about in a bit. 2 years and then you're done. So you can do a lot of different things with your associate's degree if you're just trying to, you don't necessarily want to go to college, but you just, you want to get in that field. Associate's degree is definitely the best way to get in that field. The next degree is a bachelor's degree. All right. Hey, shout out to all the bachelors. No, I'm not talking about bachelors and what's that show? I watched that show one time. Bachelor's degree. Okay. So a bachelor's degree is usually going to take around 4 years. Okay. Usually 4 years. That's the average. Now, depending where you at, people have different life decisions, different choices. But, I've seen people finish their bachelor's degree in 3 years. Then I know some people that, it took around 5, 6, maybe 7 years to complete their bachelor's degree. But it's totally up to how you go about it. But usually we're looking at 4 years for your bachelor's degree. What can a bachelor's degree get you? Basically, this is where you're going to get your entry-level jobs, okay? Now, one thing you want to know about the bachelor's degree is that you can actually skip your associates and just get a straight bachelor's degree. Totally fine. But you can also use that associate's degree to bridge yourself to a bachelor's degree, depending on your associate's degree. And this is the most common degree that you'll see most people get. Like when people are like, yeah, let's go college, yeah, get our degree. They're probably talking about bachelor's degree, okay? And that's because associate and bachelor's are all considered undergrad work. Now the next degree, master's, okay? Okay. So a master's degree is typically going to take usually 2 years. 2 years. Common master's degrees, you probably heard like master's in business, an MBA or something like that. These are usually going to be your 2-year type of degrees. You master the subject in a way, okay? So you're kind of beasting on the subject if you obtain this master's degree. Most jobs typically are fine with a master's degree. However, some jobs might require our next degree, PhD or Doctor of Philosophy, which this thing right here is, okay? PhDs are considered like the highest degree, okay? Highest level of degree, you know what I'm saying? You can't get any higher than that. It's like PhDs and then we got our next degree that we're going to talk about. They're kind of on the same level, okay? But that's the max, it's the highest level, okay? So that's what I got, you know what I'm saying, Dr. J, They take the longest, I'm not going to lie. So PhDs, right after you get your associates or bachelors, or if you just get your bachelors, after you get that, you might have to get your master's, then get your PhD. Certain fields require you to go that route. In my case, I said, Forget that master's, I'm just about to get my PhD. So I don't have a master's, I just have a PhD right now. I'm okay with that. I didn't have to do 2 more years before. I didn't have to do all that stuff, okay? Now let's talk about the timeline with PhDs. So PhD typically takes probably around 5 years depending on your field. That's the average. That's the average. I think right now in chemistry it's like 5.5. And the key difference with PhDs and master work, masters, you're really just in the classroom, just learning or doing something like that. You might, and then at the end of the day, you might have to write a paper about it. PhD, you got to do what we call research. All right, so you got to be in the lab. You know what I'm saying? Doing a whole lot of stuff, hands-on activities, really just working on what we call it your dissertation. Okay, so with the PhD program, it's required for you to defend your dissertation. So that's the granddaddy of them all, right? That's your big paper at the end, and you have to defend that to a certain committee. All right. If you defend that, and if it's good, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you did it. You graduate, you get your PhD, you're out. This process takes around 5 years, but it just depends on the person. I'm not gonna lie, right? I know certain people that did the PhD in 3 years. I know people that did it in 4 years, i.e. myself. And then I know people that did it in like 7, 8 years. But it depends on the field. Like I said, chemistry is around 5.5. A non-science, that might take you a longer time. I've seen people get their PhDs in 9 years, 10 years. Just depends. It really depends on the field. It depends on how you navigate that world. And then it depends on who your advisor is. We have our professional degrees. Okay, so these are also doctors too. Associates, bachelors, masters, PhDs. But right on that same level, you look across, we got professional degrees. Okay, so these are like your lawyers. These are like your doctors, the medical doctors. Not like me. Like I said, I'm not a medical doctor. I don't got my MD. I got my PhD. You know that you want to be a lawyer. You know that you have to get your JD. All right. So that's basically your lawyer degree. Okay. If you want to be a doctor, you got to go to med school and that whole thing and get your MD, etc. All right. Your professional degrees are really career driven. As you get higher in your degree, you have to give more money. Can y'all say that with me? As you get higher in your degree, you have to give more money. The bachelor's, that's another story. Depending on the school and depending on the type of degree, right, and then the length you're looking at, you're probably going to be spending, depending, like I said, you can spend anywhere from $20,000 to probably $250,000. All right, let's be honest here. And that's a bachelor's degree. Master's, you're looking at another 20 to 40 grand. Once again, with 2 years of your life. And then PhD, like I mentioned before, you're looking anywhere between 5 to 10 more years. Probably, you're looking at PhD of probably another 50,000. So if you're considering STEM, a lot of people don't know this, but you don't really have to pay for your PhD, like me in my case. I came in on a fellowship, and that paid for me my first 2 years there. My last 2 years, my advisor, being the guy that he is, got us some money, and then that paid for the rest of everything, okay? So, like I said, it's totally up to you and your situation. Now, I will say the most expensive of all degrees, and that's because they have a high payout, right? It's like the professional degrees. Because we always hear it, I want to be a doctor, get that money, you know what I'm saying? I want to be a lawyer, you know what I'm saying? So, yes, they have potential to earn a lot more money than all the other degrees. They are the most expensive for a reason. Just depending on where you're at looking at least 6 figs for some of these med doctor degrees, right, over 8 years. If you're trying to be like a pharmacist, you're probably looking around 50,000. Just depends. But like I said, you're probably going to spend the most money with those professional degrees. And if you're considering getting a degree, think long and hard about this. For real. Don't be just getting a degree just because everybody else is getting a degree. Especially if you're trying to get a degree in something that you really don't like to do. Okay? Just a simple fact, people are going to change their careers over the course of their life. People probably change it 2 to 3 times. So there's a good possibility you're not even going to be using this degree once you're done. So if you especially are going to those high degrees, PhDs, professional degrees, think long and hard if you want to do that, right? Because you're probably going to be spending a lot of money, and then you're probably giving away a lot of your time to that. What's up, everybody? It's Dr. J. If you're liking the content, make sure you give me a thumbs up, okay? I need that thumbs up to make sure that, it gets into that YouTube algorithm, okay? We got technology going on. Everything, Facebook, Google, Apple, technology, just say it all. Give me a thumbs up.